Hello. Once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you with Bold Talk on Allen TV from our studios in Chicago. Today, I want to talk about Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria, and the agitations going on across Nigeria. But before I go into that, let me do some housekeeping. I noticed with the previously posted videos that a lot of people are confused about what we mean by subscribing to Allen TV. Many seem to think that subscription means paying money. No, with it YouTube TV, you don't have to pay a penny to subscribe. All we are saying is if you like what we're talking about and you'd like to help us grow support for what we're talking about, if you look towards the bottom on the right-hand side of the video you're watching, there is a red inscription there that says subscribe. All you need to do is click on subscribe and you're subscribed. You don't have to pay a penny for it. Now back to what I'm talking about. It touched my heart when I watched a video last week. It was a video about one of Nigeria's top journalists, one of Nigeria's most eloquent female journalists, Zainab Ahmed. She had a video where she was crying her heart out, lamenting and regretting that she supported the election of President Buhari in 2015 and in 2019. I bring this up not to criticize Mrs. Mohammed. I actually bring this out to really applaud her support of President Buhari, or should I say applaud her coming out to boldly state why she regrets her support for President Buhari. Folks, every Nigerian has the right to support whichever candidate they choose to. All Nigerians don't have to support the same people. But only bold, true bleeding Nigerians will have the guts to do what Zainab Ahmed did last week. Very few Nigerians have the boldness to come out and recant a position they held previously because they see that that position and the person they supported has turned out not to be the person they thought they knew he was. Let me play you a segment of Mrs. Ahmed's video, then I'll come back to continue what I'm saying on that topic.
I said to good luck, Jonathan Ebele, thank you for being a good man. It is now we are realizing that you are such a very nice, honest man. Thank you, good luck, Jonathan Ebele. Tomorrow, if you come out, we will vote you. They are lying. We are out to tell you the truth, Baba. Today, I regret ever voting for you, Baba. I regret voting for you, Baba. I regret voting for you, Baba.
I feel Mrs. Ahmed's pain. I really think that many of us in the several positions we hold in Nigeria can really, at the right time when things are not right, do the same thing that Mrs. Ahmed did in this video. whether we're supporting the left or whether we're supporting the right. None of our candidates and none of our positions are always gonna be right. It comes a time when we may have been wrong in the position we held, and we need to come out and apologize for the position we held and support the position that we think is now the right direction that we should be going. The reason many have died in Nigeria and many continue to die in Nigeria is because Nigerians are so entrenched in wherever they are. The bane of our problem in our country today and had always been is tribalism. I'm Igbo, I always have to support the Igbo cause. I'm Yoruba, I always have to support the Yoruba cause. I'm Hausa or Fulani, and I always have to support the cause of the Hausa or the Fulani. It doesn't have to be that way. It's okay for me as an Igbo man to disagree sometimes with a position that Nnamdi Azikiwe held. It doesn't mean that the many good things Nnamdi Azikiwe did is going to go to wash because I criticized one aspect of what he did. It's okay for me as an Igbo man to criticize some of the positions that Emeka Odimegwu Ojukwu held. It doesn't mean that the bold things that Ojukwu did has to be thrown aside because of one aspect of his position that I disagree with. I'm appealing to more Hausa Fulanis to do what Zainab Ahmed did in her video last week. And I'm also appealing to more Yorubas to also know that there is nothing wrong with occasionally seeing that if Awolowo had done some things differently, things may have happened in a better way and made our country more stable. Yet it doesn't take away from the fact that Chief Obafemi Awolowo is one of the greatest Nigerian leaders that ever lived. Chief Obafemi Awolowo remains one of the best presidents Nigeria never experienced. Criticizing our leaders here and there doesn't take away from anything. Igbos lost millions of people during the Civil War. That's a fact. Those are lives that shouldn't have been lost. Those are wrongs that were done to Igbo. But folks, other parts of Nigeria, other tribes of Nigeria have also lost lives that shouldn't have been lost. Not in the millions as Igbos lost. Now I know that one or two Igbos are going to take this line and run with it and say that I'm equating the millions of lives lost by Igbos to the few lives lost by the rest of Nigeria. No, that's not what I'm saying, for God's sake. All I'm saying is that I'm trying to find ways for us to build bridges and mend fences. We have lost some significant lives in Nigeria because of our hate, our tribal disagreements here and there. Under President Obasanjo's administration, we lost one of the best attorney generals we ever had in our country, in Bola Ige. Bola Ige was killed in his own bedroom, and until this day, no single meaningful investigation has been made to uncover the people responsible for the death of Bola Ige. During the elections in 2000, electioneering in 2000 and was it 13, 14, we lost a significant, open-minded Nigerian politician in Lagos State. Funsho William was murdered in his bedroom. And until this day, we have not identified the people who killed Funsho William. Fellow Nigerians, the bane of our problem in Nigeria is tribalism. We have lost a lot of lives because of tribalism. We have made a lot of mistakes because of tribalism. In 1966, in the two separate coups, we lost our first prime minister, Tafawa Balewa. We lost the first premier, or the premier of Western Nigeria, not the first premier, Michael Akintola. We lost Ahmadu Bello. We lost General Aguiyi Ironsi, and we lost the first military governor of Western Nigeria, a true Nigerian, Fadri. In the process, many have also gone to jail. Chief Obafemi Awolowo was in jail during most of the chaos in 1966 and 67. Today, Sunday Igboho is in jail. Today, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, is in jail. Chief Anthony Anahoro went to jail in the struggle for Nigeria. And Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu was exiled for several years, living in pain in Ivory Coast because of tribal problems in Nigeria. When is all this going to stop? As we prepare for 2023, I am one of the biggest advocates for the youth empowerment and the youth taking over much of the decision-making process in Nigeria. While I advocate that, and while I'm one of the advocates that say that the older generation of Nigerians need to go home and leave politics, what I mean by that is leave active politics. We need elder statesmen. The youth cannot build Nigeria alone. The youth have the exuberance of their youthfulness, but they need the wisdom of the old. As we think about tapping into the wisdom of the old, there are pillars in the different parts of the 6 geopolitical parts of Nigeria. Pillars that may be old have been steadfast in working to keep Nigeria united. Because of the positions he has held along the line, at the pinnacle of that old group is President Olusegun Obasanjo. While I mention him, it's important for me to also mention that I've written 2 books on Nigeria. In my first book, I said Olusegun Obasanjo was the best thing that could happen to Nigeria to become president in 1999. In my second book, I was very critical of President Obasanjo because of certain things he had not taken advantage of during the first 4 years of his administration. I say that to say this. Being critical of Obasanjo doesn't mean I'm against Obasanjo. Obasanjo remains one of my greatest heroes in Nigeria because he has paid his due. He has steadfastly fought for the unification of Nigeria and Nigeria standing as one country. He has been in the public domain for almost 60 years, if not over 60 years. No man can be in the public domain for that long without making a few mistakes here and there. So even though we may have things critical to say about him, it's not because he doesn't hold the key to playing a significant role in bringing our country together. It's simply because his position has exposed him to make mistakes that others make in their kitchen and nobody sees it. The discussion for moving forward and the discussion for the youth taking over the leadership of our country cannot take place without consultation with some key people of old. I've mentioned Olusegun Obasanjo, the Sultan of Sokoto. Saudu Abubakar is somebody you cannot do without mentioning him as one of the keys to rebuilding our country. Staying in the north, whether you like him or not, you have to mention Sheikh Gumi. You have to mention Senator Shehu Sani. You have to mention Atiku Abubakar. You have to mention Hamza Mustafa. Yes. Sani Abacha's chief security advisor. Yes. He has a lot that he brings to the table. He knows where all the heads are buried. You have to mention the Ariwa Consultative Group. You have to mention Boko Haram. And you have to mention Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. This list is not exclusive. These are the ones that pop out. We could add to that list as we move on. So youth movement or no youth movement, you have to consult with these people to tap into the ideas of what's gone wrong and where we can fix it. Going to the east. At this point of the eastern Nigeria politics, realistically, nothing starts without mentioning Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe. He is the glue that holds the southeastern politics together, because he's been the one who has taken a lot of the heat, stood steadfast, and has not, at least by perception, been influenced by the money that exchanges hands in Asha Rock. You have to mention Chief Mbazulike Amechi. You have to mention Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu. You have to mention the newly elected governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo. You have to mention Peter Obi. You have to mention Ohaneze Ndigbo. And you have to mention, yes, IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu. You have to get Nnamdi Kanu out of jail and bring him out to play a role in remolding the country he loves so much, regardless of how radical he's been about it. And the ace in the hole in the discussion on the eastern Nigerian part of things is Chimamanda Adichie. That's a young lady Igbos need to listen to, because she speaks truthfully, she speaks firmly, and she doesn't say what's popular, she says what's right. Going on to the West, I've mentioned him, I'll start out with him again. You have to bring in Olusegun Obasanjo, the President Olusegun Obasanjo. You have to bring in Wole Soyinka. You have to bring in, whether you like him or not, the Jagaban, former governor of Lagos State, Tinubu. You have to bring in Sunday Igboho. You have to do what it takes to get him out of jail and bring him to the table. And you have to bring in Afenifere. In the South, you have to start out with Mrs. Ankyo Briggs. You have to bring in Asari Dokubo. He may be controversial, but he knows what he's talking about. You have to bring in the current governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, very controversial, but very knowledgeable and understands the problem we have in our country. You have to bring in Rotimi Amechi. You have to bring in the first governor of the New Democracy in Rivers State, Odili, and you have to bring in MEND, the agitating group in that region. In the Middle Belt, nothing starts without mentioning Dr. Bitrus Pogu, the leader of the Middle Belt Forum, the current governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, and any other agitation groups in those areas. Wow, this really makes me wish that I was able to incorporate a video from a conference that was on Channels TV last week, where you had President Obasanjo, the Sultan of Sokoto, Sheikh Gumi, Dr. Ono, who called the gathering, and a whole lot of Nigerians from different parts of the country. And Obasanjo said something at that meeting that was very striking to me, and it really raised my level of respect for the man. And what he said was basically that Nigerians need to listen to one another. He had an incident where Sheikh Gumi and another person, I think it was a Dr. Yusuf, visited him to address the problems of herdsmen in the western part of the country. And prior to the visit, Obasanjo had heard that Sheikh Gumi was making wrong accusations about what's causing the conflict, something to that effect. And he invited another community leader who he thought needed to be at that meeting with them. But when he mentioned Sheikh Gumi, the person said, anything that has to do with Sheikh Gumi, I don't want to be part of. So Obasanjo said, fine, you don't want to be part of it, I'll talk to him. Here is the biggest thing he said about that meeting he had with Sheikh Gumi. He said, by listening to Sheikh Gumi, he, President Obasanjo, became a better person. He wasn't necessarily a better person because he agreed with Sheikh Gumi. He was a better person because he gave himself an opportunity to hear from the horse's mouth. All these names I mentioned are not people who agree with one another, but they are people who have followings in those different regions. You have to bring all those groups together and sit down and talk. Folks, fixing Nigeria takes putting our hands across the country. We have to reach out across the country. We don't only have to talk to people we agree with. We don't have to agree with everybody. Sheikh Gumi, for me, is a pivotal example of a man who says a lot of controversial things that people may cringe when they hear. But after I cringe, I try to analyze what he's saying. I don't agree with a lot of things he said. But like Obasanjo said he became a better person by listening to Sheikh Gumi. He didn't say he agrees with everything Sheikh Gumi stands for, but he's saying if you don't listen to the people you disagree with, you are not going to get where you're trying to go. We have to listen to each other, guys. It doesn't matter how much people say things that aggravate you. What matters is that Nigeria has not been fair to all the federating units of the country. And it only takes so long before people say we've had enough, it's not going to happen anymore. Let's sit down and see what's causing the pain in the north. What's causing the pain in the west? What's causing the pain in the east? What's causing the pain in the middle belt? What's causing the pain in Delta and South? Until we find out where it hurts all these different groups, until we find out where all this pain is coming from, until we address the issue of tribalism and make Nigerians understand that everything you become in Nigeria up to this point, you've become because you're Nigerian, not because you're Igbo, not because you're Yoruba, not because you're Hausa, not because you're Fulani. Everything you own as a very wealthy millionaire and billionaire in Nigeria is owned because you're Nigerian. Every effort you make starting henceforth should be made towards paying back that entity called Nigeria. That is the reason you are who you are. Let's put tribalism aside. It's time to leave tribalism alone. It's time to become Nigerian. Until we become Nigerians and build this country that is supposed to be the giant of Africa, we are depriving the entire black nations of the world of our rightful place at the table where things are negotiated that has to do with the world. Nigeria needs to step up and play a part. It is anointed to play because it is the largest country in the black world. It is the largest population in the black world. And it's a source where most of the brain trust of the black world comes from. Folks, it doesn't matter if the cat is black or white. What matters is that the cat kills the mice. The mice is eating us up. Let's do what it takes to kill that mice. Thank you very much. These are my thoughts for today. I don't have the answers. I don't have anything compared to many people who know what's wrong with our country. But I just feel that I found a means where I could boldly talk about what I think is the problem of Nigeria. If you think my ideas are wrong, challenge me. Bring out your own idea. Until next time, guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. And please don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. Thank you. This is Fred Wampo.